Hi, I'm Danica Tormolin, VP of Content for Trade Show News Network by Informa, and I am joined today by Martin Moggré, who is the Chief Client
Client
Officer
officer. That's right.
for the Freeman Company. So welcome, Martin. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so happy to have you here. So tell us a little bit about what you do in your current role.
Well, I think wear probably several different hats, but as Chief Client Officer, I work with the growth teams on both the Freeman and MGG side of the fence at this point in time, which takes care of most of the audiovisual team that we have, as well as the expo team that we have, as well as MDG. So we cover that part, and basically, uh, when I say that, it also comes along with the customer experience part to make sure that we take care of all our exhibitors and our customers the right way, as well as our creative. So it's kind of multiple hats, but it's all around making sure that we take care of our customers.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit for our audience, maybe some people new to the industry. And Freeman has so many different, brands within the Freeman Company. So tell us, give us an overview of all that you do.
Sure. So we changed our branding somewhat recently to the Freeman Company because we try to originally all capture it under one brand, but there are so many areas of expertise that we have, especially with the acquisition of Sparks. As an exhibit house and an agency perspective, that we felt that we do have specific industry, specific like subject matter experts in these different areas that really have their own unique uh, perspective, right, and what they bring for a client. So someone may not need an exhibit house, right? Someone may not need graphic production. Someone may not need, attendee acquisition, and they're just looking for a conference. So to have those different brands be so experts in their area kind of makes up the total Freeman Company.
Great. So, and this one is the National Restaurant Association show is a Freeman client.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And so what are some of the other big shows that you all do that our audience at TSN might be familiar with?
Oh, well, if you're talking about the larger shows, oncology comes in after the show. We do that particular one. Obviously, everybody knows about Las Vegas. So if you go to Las Vegas, you can talk about the CES type show or ConExpo, ConEg. So some of the big movements in the industry, we work with our customers to produce those events.
So that leads me to my next question about innovation. Like, so, some of those big shows like a CES or even this one, this is our 105th show here. So
It is.
what are some of the things that you're doing to stay innovative, keep these shows fresh,
Yeah.
etc.?
This is an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
We see many of brands through history that did not innovate, and those brands faded away. So we've made it a point to continue to innovate anytime we can. Now, innovation is data driven. We truly are innovating with like a problem to solve or to go towards something, and a lot of that is done data driven because we do a ton of research with not only exhibitors but our organizers to find out what they truly need, and then we innovate to try and solve that problem to make them be more successful. Because at the end of the day, our customer success are directly related to our success.
So what are some of the things like that you've learned from the surveys? I have been to many industry events, at CISO. I've seen Ken and Kimberly talk, and at at Connect.
Right.
Ken was at our event and he spoke too about some of the attendee trends there. So talk about some of the data that
Right.
you're gathering through your surveys and then how it's implemented to innovate to something new.
Absolutely. So there's lots of different surveys that's on. It's not like too broad. Like the one that just came out, I think it came out this week or it's coming out this week,
Okay.
is around learning as is a perfect example. With the different generations entering the workforce, people like to learn differently. And it's not the same as it used to be. Not everybody wants to be talked to. So we do a ton of this research and found out how people like to learn. As an example, we have our Inside Live event taking place right now, where we're taking younger professionals and literally making them part of the immersive experience of learning. They don't get to learn at a textbook or a talking head, but they truly get to go on the show floor and experience how they like to learn. So that's just an example of the research that we do that then brings it to life through actual making people present them with the information the way they like to learn.
Yeah, meet them where they're at,
That's
right?
exactly
There's
right.
some people who want to learn from a keynote, some people that want to learn from a panel, some people that want to do a workshop, right?
Yeah. And it's interesting because the boomers, they're very dedicated and everything else, but you can see that the different generations, they do like to learn differently, and we have to adapt to that. You can't just completely switch, because if you have four generations that are actively participating in trade shows as it is today, you have to appeal to all of them. So it's very interesting, and the research does a lot telling us that.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about on the exhibitor side, some of the innovations for the exhibitors on the
Sure.
show floors.
Sure. Look, way back when, it was hard, right? Because when we did the research with our exhibitors, we didn't educate well enough, and it was old school. We had to like paper manuals, and it was super hard to figure out how to do things. So we done a ton of stuff around customer experience work to make sure that they're in the forefront. We educate them on how to participate in events, and obviously we're trying to now going through our Freeman X, which is the digital transformation, to make the buying for them or to participating with our involvement easier for them.
Yeah. So tell us about some of those ways that you're doing that. Was able to do a product demo of, the exhibitor, like an exhibitor dashboard and how some of those things are served up to the exhibitor. So
Yeah.
tell us about those.
Well, look, it's to be blunt, it's kind of like going from a manual book, the olden days, to having more of a, hate to call it, an Amazon buying experience where you can see what you buy and then recommended buying and what they bought last time. So it's easy reference because they don't have to search all over the place for things. They can literally look at data that's there and then make an easy decision of how to do it. Now, that's going to continue to evolve over time with some, saying if you buy this, then you should also buy this, or people that have bought this also buy that. Kind of like we know, like probably normal shopping that you do on a daily basis. We're trying to make that experience more lean that way.
Great. So what is something that's next? What are you working on now that's still kind of, you don't have to name any
No, no,
names or
no.
anything like that, but tell us about something that you're innovating that's coming up.
So I'm probably not the expert to talk about all that, but like Blue Echo is one of our latest technologies to where we're now scanning convention centers where you can truly visualize the layout of convention center. So if you are at the restaurant show, if you walk down the concourse,
Yeah.
you can see all the banners and sponsorship opportunities and everything else. And that is now can all be digitally created. Where in the old days we had to take pictures and do these things like that, but this is all digitally scanned. And actually, there's demos of it in Inside Live where you actually have this particular building. And right now we have 20 or so facilities, and we'll have like 40 online within a few months to come. So that is really the hottest thing off the press to make sure that we get this so people can actually see the facilities that they're in, the opportunities, not only from a show branding perspective, but from a sponsorship opportunity perspective. So
So
that's like the hottest thing off the press, I'd say.
yeah, I'm gonna stop and look at that later on today. So bring it to life for me. So if I'm a show organizer and I'm coming here to McCormick Place, so I can take a look at all the layouts and like with a show in there with like signage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can go everything from coming at the entrance from the Hyatt, walking up the or going up the escalator, seeing what banners could be hung up there, what sponsorship opportunities going to be on both sides, and then basically determine what can be like the sponsorship opportunities on the stairs going up,
Yeah.
the branding like at the pillars in front of both South and North Hall. So every facility, like what is here, McCormick Place or at the Javits or other convention centers that are coming online, is just a huge opportunity for, like I said, show branding and or sponsorship opportunities that historically was much more difficult to attain.
Yeah. How many venues so far?
20 so far, and it'll be 40 something online within a few months.
Great.
Yeah. We,
Okay.
we have to find time for them to be completely empty for us to scan them, but that's not easy these days.
So it's kind of like a 3D like
Yes,
walkthrough. Yeah.
absolutely.
So, okay, final question. I've seen so many cool sponsorships around here. So speaking of sponsorships in the building, what's something new or cool that you've seen lately that you guys have done?
Look, I don't know that I have really seen anything that's new and cool. It's kind of like we had a speaker earlier that talked
Yes,
about, it
exactly.
doesn't all have to be new. You literally, know what works and then you tweak what you
Iterate
have, right?
on
You
that.
iterate the
Yeah.
versions of it. And I think that's what mostly we're seeing. Non-endemic type sponsorships. It's nothing new, but people just have to look and say what makes sense. I think, stopping short of NASCAR, where you have like every sponsor. I think intentional sponsorship is probably still a great way to continue to drive revenue and exposure for attendees and exhibitors both.
Well, great. Thank you so much for your time today, Martin. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. For TSNN, I'm Danica Tormolin.